So, when I mentioned that I was going to keep up with putting some videos together, this one is actually going to be two parts because I feel that this topic interrelates between two different video requests. The first topic will be confidence, and the second will be speaking about aging. And I feel, as an INTJ female at least, that the two actually go hand in hand. You can't, unless there's other people out there. I found my personal experience as I aged, that's when confidence slowly began. And I want to preface what confidence is for me. Confidence is not being cocky or arrogant. Confidence is actually a pretty healthy dose of humility and knowing the good things and the bad things about you. So being okay with saying, hey, you know what, I'm okay with the fact that I'm half decent at that and not having to downplay it. Or the other side where it's like, yeah, I absolutely am not good at that. I suck, whatever. And confidence stems for myself from not attaching any innate personal association with it. So it is not something that you're carrying along with you and having to prove something or be better than something or hold a certain persona. It is being comfortable with the self that you are at home, sitting in your sweatpants, watching Netflix, and being able to bring that out to the world. And that can be difficult, especially when you're younger, because even when you're younger, you might want to put on a false bravado where you're acting like, yes, I am that casual, confident person, and I'm acting this way and looking this way, and I don't care. But the fact is, only you know when you have that sense of comfort with yourself on what you bring to the table one way or another. So I found that personally, it wasn't until I was probably in my late 30s. So for those INTJ females that are coming through the ranks, hunker down. Hopefully you'll be there faster than myself. We INTJs now have the gift of multimedia to be able to research and look more into, which is our passion. But it is something that takes a long time. Hence why I think that it's a good tie to the idea on the aging side of things. So the confidence one, I should also mention, it did come up through, I believe it was Nina99. So that video request. So thank you, Nina, for bringing that up. I'm going to be reading some of my notes just to make sure I hit some of the pieces. So for the most part, the youth side, when I mention how we can act confident and go out and yeah, we're wearing our sweatpants or doing whatever and we're acting like we don't care, but really it's your gut sense of where you fit in the world and where you actually are totally comfortable with yourself. By no means do I think that every day we all feel comfortable with ourselves. I've already talked about anxiety that I have, so it is not something that I'm Deepak Chopra with this type of thing. But when you're going through youth, I found specifically the socialization time is horrible because there's such a disconnect between what your peers are perhaps acting like and what you're thinking on the inside. So it has come up a couple of times in different comments about where other viewers have seen this disconnect in their own lives. And it's a difficult thing, but the big thing is understanding what your gut is. And I can't say that enough when it comes to confidence. Your gut is your major guiding point, I feel, when it comes to intuition. Down to the point where I will nerd out right now by saying, research what a vagus nerve is. VAGUS, nerve. Because that, I will leave it to you, but it ties directly to potentially talking about your intuition. So it's the physiological side of what is causing potentially the lack of confidence. And there's some physiological ways to work around that. There is also, again, looking at my notes quick, when you're young, it's super difficult. So I'll give you an example. What I found was really tough was, safer in my experience, I would have girlfriends that were same grade as me. I'll give you an example, say grade 11. And the topics they were talking about were completely, in my mind, I was sitting there and I almost felt like I was outside my body saying, like, talking to myself thinking, this isn't really the conversations that we're having, is it? And I'm looking at all of them to try and see if anyone is being like, noticing the same thing, that this isn't possibly a topic that we're talking about. But yet I look at them and they're all 100% engaged. So then socialization wise, as a confidence side of things, well then something must be wrong with me because I am not connecting with 90% of the people that are talking in this circle. And my sense of self deep down knew that there's a strength there in myself thinking that, yes, I know that this is just one part of my life on an intrinsic level, which didn't really help because at the same time, confidence is something that, yes, you have to bring from the inside. But as you're growing confidence, you almost fake it till you make it for a while because otherwise you can't interact in the real world in the way that you can pay bills and do things, because unfortunately we all have to interact and we all have to interconnect in a way that things flow a certain way. And having that disconnect causes potentially some lack of confidence because it's like, well, what's wrong with me? And for myself, it took me a really long time to uncover the layers. So we talk about the onion layers and how we have to slowly tear them off, maybe as an INTJ, because we have to wear those layers in order to go through our everyday with the 90% society. And that is something that if you can mitigate that amount of layers at the beginning, the better off you'll be. I hope that in this age of society, there's more tolerance for everybody's own personal views and vantage points, so it won't be as much of a difficult situation to transition. But however, I don't feel that it is necessarily the case across all points. I brought this up in other videos about how it is super imperative that you are just honing in and taking your time to make sure that as you peel off layers, when you're ready to peel off layers, that you are doing it on your own terms, and make sure that this is only for you, because our tendency is to keep the facade up in order to navigate those situations that we absolutely don't understand. And instead, we try and trying to make sense of things, and sometimes it only comes through experience. For myself, it took a long time. So anyways, next video is going to be on aging. and the details around that, which I'm well aware of. But as always, if you have any video requests, please put them in the comments section, and I love hearing from all of you, and hopefully and will be updating and posting more frequently. Thanks so much.